In the over 5,000 births I've been a part of, I have never seen one of them go exactly the same. And I love that about my job. Hey everyone, my name's Sarah Lavonne and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am finally on my last core value. I've been going through a series, so if you haven't seen the other ones, you definitely need to see those too, because all of these core values really work together to create the most positive, empowered, calm birth experience possible, which is what I want for you. And so I've been going through these core values, really pulling from my experience in various aspects as a nurse, as a birth coach, as a childbirth educator, as a nurse leader, as a nurse educator, all the things, and over 5,000 births I'm shoving together for you to give you my top tips that have really shaped how I teach you, particularly how it's shaped the bundle birth class, which is linked down below for you to take. It's your core foundational childbirth class. But I want to give you this tip because when you put all of these tips together, it ultimately can help set you up for a better birth and postpartum experience, all right? And so drum roll, please. Our final birth tip for you, our core value here at Bundle Birth related to the Bundle Birth class, is that your birth is your own. It is entirely unique. And so how that has shaped how my approach is and how the entire world of bundle birth functions is that there really isn't one perfect way to give birth. And so what that does is it opens up this world of opportunities where I believe that you deserve all of the information out there. That's why the bundle birth class is so comprehensive. Take it piece by piece when you're ready for it. That's why I offer so much free education here, because I want you to be able to just take it in and go and let it sit and feel in your body how it feels and what do you think about this and what feels right here, what feels right there. Because when you get pregnant, everyone wants to tell you all their birth stories and everyone wants to like brag about how horrible or amazing their birth was and tell you to either get pregnant or don't get pregnant, right? It feels like whiplash. And there is so much information out there. You're like, how in the world do I take this birth story and know at all how it applies to you? And so my tip for you is, and this is what I tell my one-on-one clients, okay, is that when you hear those stories, just go, thank you for that. Noted. Wow, what an interesting experience for you. And then you say, what worked for you? What did you do that helped? What did you do that you didn't like? And then you take all of that with a grain of salt and just go, you know what? I'm going to hold on to that and see how it feels for me, because in the over 5,000 births I've been a part of, I have never seen one of them go exactly the same. And I love that about my job. I love being at births still to this day, and I do take private clients here in Los Angeles to help support them for their labor, and I want to always do that because every single one teaches me something about myself, teaches me something about the birth process, teaches me something about the clients that I get to support along the way. And so anybody that is telling you that there is one right way to give birth, they are lying to you, okay? And that is coming from the most honest place of my soul. Please don't get caught up in the right or wrong. The right way is the one that fits for you. Now, how do you figure out what fits for you, and how do you figure out how to navigate the flex and flow of labor and all of that? You do have to arm yourself with knowledge. You do need to understand the physiology. You do need to prep your mind. You do need to flex and flow. You do need to have the right support, all the things, and plan for postpartum, all the things I've already talked about. But when we talk about, especially in your learning, any approach or other methods, when they teach you a method and they only focus on certain things, say an unmedicated birth or only that like there will be no pain, or only on hospital policies, meaning like a hospital class, that all of those sort of to me create this rigid box that doesn't let you know that labor isn't like this and birth isn't like this and life isn't like this. You hear me a lot. Clearly this is a thing, right? That instead it's more like this, and it's open, and you throw everything in the container and you understand, you start to contain it. So it's not just like all the information. You start out here and then you start to create some boundaries and barriers, but there really isn't one right way. And so you want a class that acknowledges that you have your own choice, that you have your own preferences, your own culture, your own background, your own beliefs, your own things that you want that have, and stories that have shaped what you want in your birth. Some of you might really want an epidural. You're like, give me no pain. And other of you might be like, absolutely, I want the full primal experience of birth, all of which is amazing. And the fact that you know that that's what you want while also being flexible and to go with the flow is perfect. Okay, I am not here to tell you how to give birth. I'm here to help you discover what's best for you and what your preferences are. Some of you might choose to be induced. Some of you might need a C-section and be really cool with that. And other of you really want that vaginal birth. Some of you want to go into spontaneous labor so bad, or experience. I've seen little things like I want to feel my water break. So I'm not getting an epidural until I feel my water break. Great. Whatever your preferences are, to me, are unique. They are to be honored. They are to be respected while also preparing along the way. Okay, I just want you to be empowered to make the best decision for your unique situation. I am not here to judge you. I am not here to tell you how it goes. I will, especially in the class, there are a couple, maybe like 3 instances where I'm like, okay, I need you to know that my nurse brain here, when I put on that hat, like this is a safety concern and this is why, versus like, this part doesn't really matter. Here's the stats. 1 in 3 million will aspirate and die after eating during labor, and then needing an emergency C-section. So you can take your risk there, right? That like 1 in 3 million are pretty good chances that you'll be all right, but ultimately it's still your decision. And so when you are approaching your labor and birth and you're hearing all the stories and you're deciding what information to fill your mind, I want you to be discerning about that information. I want you to learn, but also notice how it feels in your body. If it's scary, or it feels like it's telling you the right way, or sort of telling you how to do things rather than letting you explore how to do it for you, just be mindful of that. Now, my one caveat to that is your provider, right? So you have a doctor there that hopefully you've chosen, that you trust, that has great intentions, and that is there to help support you to make those decisions along the way. This is called the shared decision-making model, by the way, which is the underthread of everything that I do, okay? And they may look at you and go, look, there's this complication that's happened in your pregnancy. It's really unique. Here's the treatment plan, and here's my medical recommendation. Of course, you've chosen to follow a provider and be cared for. And what you're doing is you're inviting their expertise in to say, tell me how to be safe, right? But if you don't know how to ask the right questions, or you don't know how to navigate those scenarios, you may not ask the right questions and then be pushed into something that you didn't even know that you were signing up for, okay? Perfect example here, let me give you one more. I'll give you lots in the class, but is an induction. There's something called an elective induction and a medical induction, right? And often in the hospital as a nurse, you would show up to the hospital and I'd go, so do you know why you're being induced? Well, my doctor told me I have a big baby, for example, maybe other things. Okay. And I go, okay, so that means that this is an elective induction, or like, okay, so do you know the process of induction? All of a sudden you throw out elective, and I said, and really like what that means is that this is your decision, that it's not a medical recommendation to have the baby now via induction. Okay. And induction is just when you're not in labor, we come in, give you some medications, make you have your baby, or help you have your baby. Okay. So you come in thinking it's a medical induction, and you're saying, I don't love the idea of induction. I don't want to be induced, but my doctor's telling me I have a big baby, and that must be really, really concerning, which there are risks involved, right? But you show up and you realize that like big baby is not actually a medical needed indication for an induction, and instead it's considered elective, meaning it's entirely your choice. Hold on a second. Does this make sense? Okay, so you need to be able to navigate those situations and know how, which I teach you in my class, okay? So ultimately, I want you to know it's gonna be your own, and you get to, and when you own your experience while also flexing and flowing, you get to shape based on and bring your personality, your preferences, culture, all the things that make you you into your birth experience, and tap into those coping resources that you've used in the past, the resilience that you've endured through other hard situations. Labor's hard. Hard doesn't mean bad, right? And instead you can tap into that, allowing your medical team in to shape this unique, beautiful, perfect birth experience that will be uniquely you. I want to know, what was the most unique thing that happened to you in your labor and birth? Or what is a unique preference that's really important to you that you've learned across the way that you want to sort of help push into or hope for your labor and birth? Tell me down in the comments down below. You can share any other ideas you have for future videos. This is my last core value. Stick around, make sure you subscribe, like, share with a friend, because I have other education coming here, but I hope that you've taken and you've seen how and begin to shape for not only your labor, birth, but your life and parenting, how some of these core values, core concepts can really help set you up for success in the future. Define it however you may. And then if you want more from me, of course, you can head over to bundledbirth.com. Everything's in the show notes down below. I have a bunch of free resources for you. Of course, there's my entire YouTube channel that's free for you, but check out the free resources down below. And then of course, I'm gonna recommend for you to take the Bundle Birth class. It is my gift to you. It's like the best class I've ever taught. It is like my soul training you to ultimately set yourself up for that positive hospital birth experience. There's other classes, products, lots of other things over at bundledbirth.com. We'd love for you to check that out and play around over there, click around, and then until next time, don't forget to flex and flow, and I will see you soon. Bye. Way along that it's the whole way along. It's not a thing. The whole way along? What is that? The whole long way. The whole way. The whole entire way. The entire way along. What am I trying to say? The entire way through. The way. The whole way. Is that a thing? Wowzers! That was a lot of tips. Like a lot of tips. My back hurts. They're OG tips?
Yeah, they're like very much you tips.
Oh yeah. This is like me at my core. You should know. And this is what I teach my clients. This is what I bring in everything that I do. I'm like, and the perfect little combo of all this stuff, it's like, it like really does make such a difference. So go do it. Easier said than done, but absorb. That's cute. Okay.